Hello, hello. Happy Self Care Sunday. This is Carmelita Turner, the realest realtor. Listen, I know you saw the title. Yes, I was held captive in the McDonald's drive through line. So, let me tell you what happened. First and foremost, get a pencil and a little sheet of paper because I'm about to drop a lot of knowledge that will prove helpful this second day of spring, new beginnings, a time when we can purge old things and old practices. So, one of the things that was cracking me up today is that I was being very intentional. That's my word for 2021, intentional. Just about observing what I do on a regular basis. Well, going to McDonald's ain't one of them. Today I was actually on the phone with my sister and I had to run out to do two errands. Okay. So I'll tell you about that fastest way to drop 200 bucks in America in less than 30 minutes. But I told her, I said, for some weird reason, I'm craving a small package of French fries from McDonald's. Not the ones that sit under the light. I want them hot and in that little white package. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And my sister was shocked because she knows I don't even like McDonald's like that, right? She was like, "What, girl? Stop. Just whatever, go run your errands or whatever." I said, "Nah, let me just pull in here real quick. I'll grab these fries and do what I need to do." How about the minute I pull into the drive through, there are cars in front of me, cars behind me, their power goes out. So I'm like, okay. And the way the drive through is built, I couldn't pull out because there was a sidewalk with gravel on the right and I had nowhere that I could go. I'm trapped. So I'm like, yo, y'all not gonna hold me hostage in this drive through when I shouldn't have been in here in the first place. But I said, boy, those ancestors got a funny way of saying, yo, get your butt out this drive through, right? Because I have been intentional about paying attention to what I do in major areas of my life, my health, my mind, and my wealth. Because as we're out here breaking generational curses, building legacy wealth, without your health, none of it matters. So I've been doing plant-based eating for a while. I'm not a vegan. I don't have it all mastered. I'm still having to do research like everybody else. Let me tell you, by the time I was able to get out of that drive-through, and I probably sat there for like 15 minutes because the cars in front of me wouldn't leave and the people behind me wouldn't leave. And I started thinking like, wow, they want that McDonald's bad. Like they really did. And I was so grateful. That was at that point, very grateful that I really could do without it, right? It wasn't like, oh, this is something I have to have. But there are some things that we do that become so much of a habit or so ingrained in just how we function that we don't even realize that that is something that we could very well eliminate and save money while doing it. Because the more I started thinking about it, all right, I'm going to keep it a stack. I was like, I wanted those fries, but I was probably going to grab like a chicken sandwich or something. And, which I probably really shouldn't have anyway. But by the time I would have done all of that, I probably would have dropped like, what, $9, rounded up to 10. So I was like, nah, bump all that. I'm going to do what I came out to do. I'm going to go to the grocery store and I'm going to the drugstore to pick up some prescriptions, right? But now, talk about how to drop 200 bucks in 30 minutes. And this is going to get to some of the tips. So for one person, I went to the grocery store. Oh my gosh, I got some plant-based burgers that I just made with some sauteed spinach and mushrooms and some vegan cheese. I was like, yo, I'm gonna need to smack myself. It was so good. And it was so much better than anything I could have gotten at McDonald's. So I'm glad that I reminded myself, come on, let's not get off track here, right? So mind you, I went to the grocery store, and for what I would have dropped at McDonald's, I was not only able to purchase, something for me in the right now, but for several more days. I don't eat things out of cans, so I go to the grocery store like every other day for the most part, only because I don't eat stuff out of cans. I don't eat processed food, stuff like that. Now, a lot of people will hear this and feel like, well, that's great, and yes, we should all be doing that, but that can get expensive. But let me tell you, I am probably, and my family and my friends will attest to this. I'm the person who's like, yo, I don't want to go there unless I got a coupon. So, people laugh at me all the time, but see, that $25 coupon hit different when you want to get an extra order of guacamole at TGI Fridays or wherever. So, and again, we've been on quarantine for so long. But that's just how I've always moved. And there's no reason that you should start abandoning the things that you've been doing, not just for your health, but for your financial wealth when you know they make sense. It is very rare that I will go to a fast food place. If I budget, you hear that? If I plan to go out and treat myself to some food, I tend to go to Black-owned restaurants and support them in that way. And I also go to restaurants where I actually see them making my food. That's just me. I mean, and I was that pre-COVID. So that's just how I've always moved. But I always, plan for it. I always set aside for it. I'm not just out here, eating out all the time because I can. No, that's the fastest way to deplete your savings. So I share this with you because one of the things that I want to do is give some tips on different areas that we can try to really spruce up what we're doing, purge some old behaviors and start with some new beginnings the second day of spring. So after I left the grocery store, I had to go to CVS, pick up some prescriptions. So between those two stops, I dropped almost $200. Okay. Now let me say this about me and medicine. I'm not a pill popper, right? I do my elderberry, I do my olive leaf extract, my sea moss, shout out to Imhotep 17. I do my moringa powder, shout out to moringamagic.net. Like if I don't have to take a pill, I won't. However, because of how the scheduling has been, some medications that I had been on that I plan on phasing out when I see my doctor the next time, I needed to refill because it's going to be another, I think about in like 2 months or whatever before I can go back into the office, right? Because everything with COVID now has to be scheduled a certain way, and that's fine. So I was thinking about the fact that, again, I'm one person. So I did some research today because I was like, let me do some comparison. This is where we miss the mark sometimes. We don't make comparisons. So I started looking at, well, what would these medications cost with the insurance? What will they cost without the insurance? And then what will they cost with some of these discount coupon services that they advertise on the internet? So I actually found one called Good RX. So write that down, Good RX. They are currently having a free 30-day trial. I like anything that gives me a free 30-day trial. So I said, okay, let me sign up for it and let me see how much the medications were. Oh my gosh, they were on average 84.6, I know I'm weird, percent less than what I would have paid using insurance. You heard what I said. So one of the things I'm recommending today, go and if you happen to have, medications that you take on a regular basis or whatever, you may want to check out Good RX or some other service like that. Now, after the 30 days, for me, as I have the plan with just one person, it's $5.99 a month. What I did, I looked at how often, I would need to refill medications in a year. Of course, like you all know, my plan is I'm going to stop them anyway. But and then with the $5.99 fee, how much would that be? And then I looked at how much it would be, with insurance, how much it would be without insurance, and this one hands down. And I'm like, why is this information just not blasted out more? For families, even for, my God, America, do better. The fact that we pay so much anyway for medications and for healthcare is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I also want to say, now, I'm a creature of habit. So I go to the same CVS. They know who I am. They know me by name. That's just me. I go to the same grocery stores. I've always been that way, but I've definitely been that way since, Corona. Because I don't want to change nothing. I go double mask in my gloves, in my hazmat suit. Like I do the same things all the time. I did find out in my research that there are many grocery stores where the medications at the grocery store are cheaper than at a drugstore. So if that has been your experience, please leave a comment here in the chat, or if you know of other things that might be helpful to people, let us know here. I know the cheapest grocery store that I saw so far in my research was Safeway. But then guess what, y'all? Costco is killing the game on prescriptions as well. So if you have a Costco membership, it may be worth it. But look, know your numbers. Do the math. The same things that I say to people in business, how we have to know our numbers, we need to know our numbers in our personal lives as well, okay? So do that research too, because like I said, GoodRx or switching over to a grocery store, a Safeway versus a drugstore, or researching Costco. Do the research, because anywhere you can eliminate money that you have to spend on a regular basis, where do I want you to put that money? You already know the realest realtor wants you saving that money, okay? I'm going to get to the stimulus check in a second. The other thing that I also thought about and did a little bit of research on as well is when it comes to medical care. Many times, people have health insurance through their employers. The marketplace, I think, has been extended once Biden came in because of, everything that's going on with the virus and all. So a lot of times companies don't require that you get the health care through them. And what you should do is do a comparison between what you would pay with your employer for health care and what you may pay via the marketplace. You may find that you would pay less going through the marketplace. But what does that require? You sitting down and just comparing those numbers. Give yourselves 30 minutes to do that. I talk to people all the time about time blocking. Let me tell you, this weekend, I was time blocked. You know why? Because I needed rest. I needed to be undisturbed. My phone has, for the most part, been on Do Not Disturb because I do not want to be bothered this weekend, because I needed to rejuvenate myself mentally, physically, and I wanted to enjoy these first couple of days of spring without anyone having access to me, and that's my business. And you should be doing the same thing on a regular basis. This is a self-care Sunday. I'm just keeping it real. All of these things for me are self-care, because anytime that I can address my health or address how to increase my savings, I think it's a good thing. There are other ways to also look at where you can save money. And again, on the weekends when you're relaxing, just, decompressing, just do one little thing at a time to help toward your goals. So the first thing is looking at bills that you pay consistently, your cell phone bill, your cable bill. Can you do with less of a cell phone bill? You probably can. Shop around different plans with different companies. See, they compete against each other all the time. You want the best deal for your money. Okay. Now, of course, for many of us, our cell phones have to have certain capacities. So compare apples to apples, but you shop around and find the best deal. People are always like, oh, no, I can't go with such and such because their service is bad. Poppycock. You do know they all use the same towers, right? Yeah. If you don't, you should go and read the FCC law. It'll tell you that. It'll even show you where the towers are. You might be living in a condo building or an apartment building where the towers are right on top of your roof. You know why? Because that's what many buildings will do to bring in an additional stream of revenue. That's a video for another day. Cable bill, same thing. You need all them channels. Are you even watching all them channels? Do you even know all the channels you have? I am really, that's on my list for this week, is to really figure out a solution for me for cable. I could care less about the TV. I can get enough stuff on streaming or whatever. I could care less. As long as I can see, news, whatever, I'm good. My problem is that I need a high type of internet service. And let me tell you how these cable companies get you. If you only want the internet, they want to charge you as much as if you were to have a cable package, a bundle. Have you ever paid attention to that? So I am trying to figure out a solution for myself so that I do not sacrifice bandwidth and things of that nature, but where I can decrease what I'm paying to a cable company every month, because for me, I find it wasteful. Very wasteful, because there's just certain things I don't need. I probably watch 3 channels, if that. if that. And that's on the weekends when I'm catching up on shows. So take a look at that as well. I hope you guys are writing this stuff down, because things that you write down, you hold yourself accountable for. Take a look at the things that you have on auto pay. It could be, like I mentioned, streaming services, right? It might be for your Hulu or for your Netflix or your Disney Channel or whatever. And that's fine. If they're on auto pay, that's great. But make sure you're tracking, what you're paying, when you're paying it, things of that nature. Hopefully, you're paying it on a credit card, a rewards credit card that you have, so that when you make that payment, you're going to receive some type of rewards, whether it be cash, whether it be air miles or something. And I'm going to talk about that in a second. But take a look at those streaming services. Make sure you use all of them, that you need all of them. Okay? Because if you don't, get rid of some of those. I mean, those things start adding up. Even when you look at systems that you pay for, whether it's Evernote or Dropbox, or like I pay for YouTube Premium because I do a lot of research on YouTube, obviously, and so I need it. I don't have time to work way through the commercials. So for me, it's a business expense. Okay, but for some people, if you don't need it, just take a look at that. Why pay for it? But definitely take a look at those things that you're paying on a regular basis to eliminate. I mean, there are some softwares and things that I hadn't even opened since I bought them. Like I eliminated that stuff. That's wasteful money. $14.99, $16.99. That stuff adds up over a year. That's something that you can eliminate and put that money to the side and save. Also, take a look at really thinking about clutter, I guess is how I want to say that. Thinking about clutter. And you're probably like, well, how is clutter going to help me save money? Well, it helps you kind of organize what it is that you're doing. It'll help you know, because I'm doing a huge, massive clean out of my office area, papers, things of that nature, because clutter kind of blocks your mind. I'm the mindset molder and motivator, right? Everything starts here in the mind first. That's why everything happens twice. First in the mind, and then in reality when you execute on it, okay? So the reason that clutter is important, because organize your bills. Have files together for those things. I just indulged in a smaller dry erase board. Okay, it was only $6, folks, and I'll write it off. But I needed it for my desk, right? I mean, not that I don't have larger things, but I have a lot of tracking devices and things that I use because I time block. So I know, I'm not answering the phone because it's such and such of a time, and I'm in the middle of this task and I'm not stopping. So the more organized you are in your physical space, with your paperwork, with your bills, things of that nature, it will help you catch holes or catch where you are wasting money unnecessarily. Now, I know I said the fastest way to spend $200 in 30 minutes. I am grateful that I'm able to do that, but it really sat in my soul, because I'm like, well, what about families that can't do that? What about senior citizens that can't do that? People that really need their medications and things of that nature. So I just wanted to at least try to offer some solutions that people can look into to help. Come on, America, we got to do better. We have to do better. Another thing that I was researching last week that I am going to follow through on, I go to the dentist once a year. Knock on wood. Praise God. I've never had a cavity. Yes, I've had this beautiful gap all my life, and I'm not going to do a thing about it because I love it. It's just certain things as we get older. Yeah, our teeth shift or whatever. Who cares? Like, my teeth are healthy. I can chew. Everything is fine. I can speak clearly. And so I am doing some research on how I can treat myself every year to going and visiting a foreign country for my dental needs, as well as a vacation. And of course, I'll do a little business as well, so I can write that off. So, because again, I want to take the path of least resistance. I want premium services without having to, relinquish my kidney for them. I deserve all of that, as do you. And if I can't find it here, then I'm going to find it where it exists. I'll do my research and I'm going to make it happen. So there's no reason, there's nothing stopping us folks from doing these types of things. Nothing at all. I just wanted to come on here and just give you some spring purging thoughts to have so that you can start really eliminating things that you don't need. Lighten your load, people. Lighten your load, because what you don't want to be is held hostage in anybody's drive through and not able to get out. So there's that part. And you want to be able to make sure that you can have the things that you need for yourself and your family, but also identifying ways that you can save money. Okay. If you don't have a plan in place like that, if you don't know your numbers, you shouldn't be spending that stimulus check on nothing. Nada. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I'm gonna pay down some debt. What you are? Well, what are your numbers? What debt you paying down? That's enough to pay down all your debt? Because if not, you might want to talk to somebody about what you should do as far as that debt's concerned, and what you should do as far as that stimulus money is concerned. I'm always telling people, call Carmelita. I'm not hiding. I'm out here in plain sight. You can connect with me on any of my social media platforms, or call Carmelita at gmail.com. It ain't difficult out here, but you have to have a plan in place. Okay. So on this self-care Sunday, I am just enjoying my spring purge. I'm, congratulating myself for freeing myself from the McDonald's hostage situation and having a much better lunch than what I would have had from there. Grateful for all that I'm able to do and accomplish. And I want the same for everyone else. So on this Self Care Sunday, I just wanted to say, hey, enjoy time really figuring out how to reclaim your dollars. We know, money is just cotton. We understand that. But it is a tool, a necessary tool. And why do I talk to clients about this all the time? Because they may want to purchase a home. They may want to purchase an investment property, it doesn't matter. It's not going to happen without some level of money. I keep telling people this. They're like, oh, well, I saw this ad, buy a house, zero down. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let me know when that happens. Let me know when it happens. When you go in and you purchase a home, zero down, and no money had to be extended either from yourself or the seller or somebody, let me know when that happens. Because I got about 20 more deals I want to run their way. Folks, thanks for hanging out with me. Have a phenomenal Self-Care Sunday, and I will see you all again next week. Take care.